Alright, welcome everyone to today's live stream of Subnautica. I have been doing some prep work since last time, trying to get a lot of titanium. I have done I made a big trip out to the crash zone near the the jelly shroom cave area, and just went again and again and loaded up to the point that I have, let's see, I think this is that the last? Yep, that's the last one. And basically, I built across this way, built this way. So this is the last one that everything started funneling into. You see just how much metal salvage I went and added into everything. I've got a lot of titanium, so hopefully we're not going to have any major delays today because of titanium. So we can just focus on doing a lot of building for a little while. So hello, Prime Sonic. Thanks, of course, for joining in this time. Hello, Fear the Furry, and Mom, why? Also, hi, Omaha. Before I go down and start building below, I want to build some exterior grow beds because I keep meaning to do this and then forgetting. So we're going to have some exterior grow beds that are here for production of, well, of course, the plants that we use for utility stuff, but also just research idea. You know, like they are going to need a variety of things that they're researching. We may not even put them side by side like that. Maybe bring it out a little bit. Yeah. I'll have to put some more lighting out here like that. I want to at least get a couple of grow beds. I'm not gonna worry about doing the whole set. I just want something here that I could say plant creepvine seed clusters in and have some creepvine going at least. And we'll see how it looks from there. And just, yeah, we're going to have some planters for production and research. Actually, I do kind of like the gap there. I'm going to have to do a better job with it. I'll start with the one on the end and do it when it's daytime and I can see. So yeah, we'll do some of this real quick. Then we're going to head down and get the actual building going, because I want to finish today if possible. And did I use all of my creepvine or seed clusters? I don't think I did. I don't remember using anything that substantial in terms of like silicone rubber or anything like that that would have caused it, but I may have. Did I possibly use all of my seed clusters? I may have. Well, darn. Okay. We'll come get some more later. I'm just going to go ahead and dive. We'll get this going. You still see how much the lighting comes from the lanterns. I really like the little lamps actually working properly now. So, I'm doing good, Fear the Furry. Hello, Matus, I believe. Content complete is October 31st, so they're going for a Halloween release. Wait. Subnautica 01.0 is going to be released in 2020, so they're saying, like, the content's going to be there, like, story and all the building mechanics, and then they're just going to worry about fixing the bugs after that? That seems like a full release, and then just, okay, we're going to do bug fixes following that. Oh, you had invisible reapers. Well, that's interesting. I now have 2 reapers that are patrolling the same area over in, not Safe Shallows, but it's close to Safe Shallows. It's over where I was harvesting. Like last stream, we had that reaper chasing me, and I guess chased him. I kept pushing him further away with my auto defense. He's now patrolling right next to another reaper. So I was actually being attacked simultaneously by 2 reapers as I was driving back here with this load of titanium that I have. Good morning, Ballistics Boy. So, if you haven't already seen it, I did just post right before this a community post on the community tab asking about what game everybody wants to see added as a secondary live stream. Not, this and doing 2 a week, but another live stream since I have moved away from Twitch, like many streamers are starting to do now, apparently. I'm looking for a new game to add in for one more additional stream each week on YouTube. And I've posted my suggestions, main suggestions, No Man's Sky, because they did just update, and I was already thinking about it before the update anyway. And The Forest, because I've already dealt with The Forest in the past, and they just, both of those have the same building style that I'm used to, like with this game. Oh, and I've got a leak. Yeah. Let's see, he shouldn't be that far out. It's really weird that he's this far away. Maybe he chased me and I didn't notice it before. Or maybe he just really was angry at me making some noise. He's like, don't ignore me. What? Where's my leak? There we go. I got a quick hit on me. But yeah, if you want to make a suggestion for a game, just make sure it's something that fits to this style of gameplay, something that we can do a big build with, you know, and do stuff like that. Not something that's so limited in the building aspect. Oh yeah? You're gonna come after me already. Fine then. How do you feel about that? Actually, you know what? Come here. I've already scanned you, and I'm just gonna beat you to death. Ah! Who wants cooked Ghost Leviathan fillet? Come here. I feel like this is one of those, you know, how many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop moments? How many hits does it take to get to the center of the Ghost Leviathan? Let's see. I'm going to build one more this way, because I think that will line up. Oh, now we're getting some delay. Some extra delay on the build. Why are you so interested in me right now? Are you interested? Yeah, get stuck. Get stuck! That'll make things so much easier for me. Found a major bug in PS4. I'm not surprised on that. They're still kind of, you know, building out the PS4 version of it. I don't think they actually consider PS4 to be full release at the moment. Wow, I'm really starting to get that delay on it. Get away from me. What did I do to you just this moment? Let's see. You know what? Oh, that almost looks like one of the resource deposit veins in Below Zero that we have, but it's just a regular outcropping, and it just got placed up there like it's supposed to be. Building the base from lava zone to surface? No, we're building from the surface to the lava zone. We're going in reverse because that way I can do, oh great, I forgot, I wasn't even paying attention to my, reinforcements. Yeah, that lag there. Alright, we'll head back up, because he is not leaving me alone. I'm apparently close enough that he does not like me being here. Maybe if I park further back, I'll be okay. And I've already got another break. Alright, let's,
Engine powering up.
Alright, I'm easing on back. Just leave me alone. At least I can automatically attack him and damage him. I don't know if the building lag is going to be so much the world chunks, because, you know, I did have the same kind of lagginess happen in the last big base build that did not span a major section of the world. It was all in one space, but a lot of components, again, you know, being calculated right at the end when it's doing the how much hull strength do I have and how much do I need kind of, you know, calculation. Timmy, you back? Timmy has a new bed that I got him for his birthday this week. So he can now sit in style next to me while I do my gaming. So he's like laying just right down below me, chilling and eating a little snack right now. Good morning, Gary. Thank you for enjoying the work. I'm glad you like it. 700 hours in Subnautica. I'm not even sure if I actually have 700 total hours in Subnautica. I may have. I can't remember. I know I have like, I was closing in on 600 with Empyrean when I last was playing it steadily, but I did a lot of stuff with that. I know if I had always had my Steam account connected to Warframe, I'd probably have 2,000 or 3,000 hours in Warframe from how much I've spent playing that. Yeah, we're gonna load up a bunch of titanium or a bunch of reinforcements again, using up some of my titanium reserves. Seamoth upgrades blocks resource blips from disappearing. I've always had a problem with resource blips not disappearing just in vanilla Subnautica. It's, you know, before I was doing mods, I had resource blips not disappearing. So I wouldn't say specifically that, Jason, that's, you know, to the mods. More Seamoth upgrades has been remade. I forgot to check for updates on the mods. I need to do that after this. Remade is separate mods. So doing the same thing like you did for the Cyclops mod. So you can just add in what you need. Okay. Does make it a little bit easier, except you have a longer list of mod folders. I'm not sure how much I need in terms of reinforcement, but I'm thinking if I can hit 100, let's say I was minus 1.3, or was it 1.6? It was 1.3 or 1.6, something like that, that it took out when I built that one connector. So I'm thinking at the least I'm going to need over 100 hull strength for the rest of this segment, not counting what goes down into the tunnel. And I got all my batteries charged. I forgot to do my ion battery in the habitat builder. Alright, there we go. Getting close. I might actually go ahead and go above 100 a good bit. I won't close in on that. I'm not planning to do a lot of windows in this, and I can always come in later and be like, okay, let's do every 5 connectors. I'll do a window on one side where I can actually see something. Like, there's no point in doing a window on the side that points towards the wall. It's like a window in a New York apartment where the window looks into the back of a brick wall of another building. Like, the window's there to make you feel good in that case. It's not actually there for you to see anything. I definitely will check it out, Prime Sonic, after the stream's over. Again, for those of you who've joined in, check the community tab. I did post community post there asking for suggestions on the new game to add to the streams for a second weekly stream. No Subnautica, no Below Zero. Though I know people are going to suggest those, it's already in there. Do not suggest them because I'm already doing Subnautica now. And I'm not doing Below Zero until it has enough content to justify a long amount of playtime, which it just does not have right now. Alright, that should be enough for at least a little bit. I'll get me started at least. But yeah, go to the community tab, comment with the suggestion that stays in this style. You know, survival, fine, but the big thing is the building. 3D first person or third person type game with building, not really the top down building style, I don't think would be a good fit. Focusing more on stuff like this so we can do big building stuff. Goku, it's not a big deal to go into the jelly shroom cave. Just, you know, the snakes are gonna come after you, yeah. But, you know, give them a little whack with your knife. I mean, they're not gonna, like, just... It's kind of a similar animation to Reaper getting a Seamoth. You're gonna see grabbing hold of them, then you just break free, hit them with the knife. 7 Days to Die, I've played that. I did that a good bit on Twitch, and I liked Alpha 16, but Alpha 17, and it maybe it's better now, but I know Alpha 17, when I played it at the very beginning, it was so buggy in terms of game-breaking bugs that it just took all the fun out of it. You know, I made it to my first Blood Moon, and before I did the Blood Moon night, I watched other YouTubers and Twitch streamers who did it on Alpha 17. And they were like, hey, I'll just put these, you know, wood spikes down. And I'm sitting there watching these wood spikes killing zombies like it's nothing. You know, no problem taking the zombies out. And then I built the same mechanic. And the first zombie that came in on the Blood Moon night broke through, I think it was five different stacks of wood spikes. The same ones that other YouTubers and Twitch streamers used with no problems. Ran right through them like they were not there, broke them. Before I managed to shoot them and take them down. And then the rest of them just obliterated the spikes. I think it took them 30 seconds to get through every single defense I had in place and kill me on that first Blood Moon night in 7 Days to Die. And then when I respawned, it did not respawn me in my bed. Even though I had a bed, it didn't respawn me there. It respawned me at a random location because it turned off my respawn point and my land claim device. So when I finally did get back to my base and had all my stuff from my backpack, I had to reclaim the entire base, and at that point they basically just destroyed half of it while I was trying to do it. So yeah, I'm not going to try 7 Days to Die again anytime soon until it's maybe Alpha 20 or full release, because I don't think they've had enough time to do that much improvement on it. Yeah, I liked 7 Days to Die when I was playing Alpha 16. You know, there was bugs, but nothing bad. But it was, you know, watching other players do stuff, and then when I try to do the exact same thing, it treats it differently. I was like, that's very buggy. That's inconsistent. I could understand it being, you know, if I use different wood spikes, but I watched them just place down generic wood spikes. Zombies died like nothing on them. And then I did it, and it was like they didn't even exist. The zombies just ran through them, breaking them. But it's just, there was a lot of inconsistent stuff. I think I'm going to pull this further over, because I want to get it over there. And that's the problem. I don't know how well this is going to rotate. Since I cannot do a half curve, you know, be nice if we could have it curve only part way, so I could then reorient the direction, have it go there, and then reorient that way with another half curve. This is going to be a little bit more interesting of the build. This is where it's going to twist and turn more than I would like. This is definitely not going to fit the way I want it to. What? I can't drop down that low there. If I turn... Well, actually, yeah, I can't do the right angle here, so I'm going to have to go this way, come out, and then go back this way, and cut across there. Yeah, I hear you. Bye-bye. Hey, you just stay there. I may actually end up just stabbing him to death before this is all done with. Joel from The Last of Us. I do not watch The Last of Us, so I'm not sure who that is that I'm reminding you of. Oh. Let's see, how far can I go before this looks too out of place? Thinking about there. And then I'll have to lower. Ah! That's one way to get a good screenshot of Leviathan coming at you. Build something so it freezes the game. Oh, Last of Us is a game? I have not played that. I'm assuming by the title it'd be some kind of survival game, would be my indication. Not sure how far down I'm going to go for this. I don't want to have too many zigzags. I also don't want to have too many up and down ladder transitions. Just because ladders are so weird when you start stacking them. Then we'll have to move a little bit closer.
Engine powering.
Let's do, let's go in,
Silent running.
Red October silent running mode. Dun 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 dun. Okay.
Engine powering
Yeah,
down.
he left me alone. That should be close enough. I can't see anything, so I'm close enough to make this work. This is why I don't want to build in the void. Imagine doing that again, where you have 3 of those coming after you constantly. That's why I did that small build in the void previously, and that was it. Oh! What the? Okay, I shot through him. Come on. That's a rip. Alright, you just stay there. I might have to go and get my battle mode sea moth, come down here and teach him a lesson before this is over with. Which actually, I still haven't made anything for torpedoes, so we might have to do that at the end. Oh! Alright, one more bite and I'm in trouble, so it's time to heal. I need an auto defense thing for the base so that it can just, I can put it like next to where I'm working and it just constantly shocks them when they come in to attack. That way I can work peacefully. 0.70 some percent on that. Alright, yeah, here he goes again. Oh, that one works. And he's right in my field of vision where I can't tell exactly which way I'm going. Saved and go to war. Ah, we'll do war later. I need to get the gasopod, you know, gas bubbles so I can make some torpedoes, really, to go to war. I don't have any of the offensive weapon mods installed right now. I'm guessing I'm just gonna, well, just run away from him for the moment, but I think I'm just gonna build down this way. Like to here, and then cut across maybe this direction and hug along here, because that's what I want to target, that side, and then do the drop down. Yeah, I think I might. Yeah, I might be able to pull that off. I think I can. I think that's gonna be a tight squeeze, but I think I can make it work. There we go. That's why. Why I don't like having to do the void. Hello, dear guy. You're you know, like 20 minutes late. Not much. You're gonna get to see most of it still. Yeah, guy with. Well, I had to have a weapon. I have a thermal blade. It cuts and burns. You know, that's like oh, what was that? Spiderwick Chronicles. It's like, use this. It's iron or steel, cuts and burns them, kind of thing. You get that folklore aspect. That basically I have a weapon against a vampire or, you know, werewolf kind of thing. It cuts them and burns them because they can't handle the touch of that on their skin. This is my mythical weapon here. Get away from me! Go! Go! There. Good thing I have a stockpile of medical kits. Yeah. Build up to the pipe? Which pipe? Because I'm building just down from this pipe. I'm building it. Like, I mean, I'm sure I could try and line something up and build up to it, but I have to line it up just perfectly to build upwards to the pipe and get it to fit. Otherwise, you know, it's not going to connect as the same base. Last of Us. I will have to try and remember to take a look at that after the stream is over. After I get done being attacked. Actually, you know what? Come on. Come get me in my Cyclops.
Welcome
Get.
Captain.
Alright, so he hit it, but it did not count as an attack against the Cyclops because he was going after me. Not the Cyclops itself. So what? So, oh yeah, I was going to swap out my ion battery now. Might as well. We'll go ahead and put these back. Well, he's leaving me alone. He doesn't care. You know, I'm in here. I'm not making enough noise to bother him. Yes, Lazar, I know about commands, but I'm not using the commands for this. This is survival. It's about doing the survival mode. Oh, there we go. Yeah, this will work. Very tight squeeze, relatively, in terms of the building, but, you know, this is going to make it. And I'm not going to do this weird curving, drop down, curving, drop down, curving, drop down. Go into the void in a new world in survival with commands. Why is it with commands? I've gone into the void without commands. I've built in the void without commands, using the same method I'm doing now by freezing them constantly. Or actually, no, that was when I was using the laser cannon mod, and I actually was killing the Ghost Leviathans and waiting for them to drift downwards before they despawned. Yeah, that would make this a lot easier. Just kill the Leviathan and not have to worry about this. But I kind of want to have a Ghost Leviathan swimming around for the looks. Alright, here we go. He's coming back. Or not. What if I just do it like that? Hey, hit, hit, hit. No. Are you actually coming after me or not? Yes, he is. Boom. There we go. Command to give you more oxygen, but at the cost of pressure sickness? Seems a really weird one. Ah! There we go, Prom Sonic. That's the mod you need to make. Give us a saddle for riding the Leviathans, like pigs in Minecraft. Put a saddle on it and let me go riding on Ghost Leviathan. We'll turn this into art. We'll make them tameable so you can ride them and use that as like, okay, I'm gonna, you know, tame a Ghost Leviathan so it can't... Well, actually, I would tame the dragon and try to find a way to get him up and out of that area. Hit. Yes! Haha! Alright, this is where I'll start curving it a bit. This will be a zigzag. Yeah, I don't think the taming the creatures in this would be an easy thing to do. If it was part of the game, it'd have to be something that's definitely a real challenge. Like, oh yeah, that's the worst thing in the game to do, is try to tame a Leviathan. Like, imagine taming the sea dragon. You have to go and, you know, you raise some stalkers and you go and release them in front of the sea dragon so he can eat them, and that's the taming bait for the sea dragon. Oh. Alright. I heard it. It didn't sound to me like he was right next to me. Oh yeah, that's right. Now, I still can't believe they didn't give us the hotkey option for first aid kits. Like, seriously. Even now, they never implemented it where you can just select a hotkey slot with the first aid kit and use it. That seems so strange. Oh, yeah, that'd be a kind of an interesting idea, is, you know, not just that, I mean, yeah, they don't technically attack your base. They attack you, and might attack the base as a result of coming after you. Just like, you know, that last hit from the Ghost Leviathan did not damage my Cyclops, because he wasn't attacking the Cyclops, he was attacking me. And I just happened to be in it. That he was still trying to track me and hit me. So having maybe something where there actually is the mechanic of, okay, the Leviathans are going to attack your base intentionally, or, you know, certain aggressive creatures, they start to gather up and attack. That'd be kind of interesting. But at the same time, you know, they can't take it too far if they did that. If you went to where, oh, hey, look, you know, there's 36 bone sharks that decided your base looks appealing and they're tying together, you're implementing either the notion that they have intelligence enough to formulate a plan and say, hey, let's get together and attack, or you're giving them kind of a group mechanic to the way they act, similar to, say, wolves. And I haven't seen anything in the game that acts what I would think in terms of that social grouping aspect, other than some of the, you know, non-aggressive creatures. Like, you see grouping of gasopods, but you don't see grouping of sand sharks and bone sharks that are swimming together and acting like they're trying to stay together in a little pod. So you'd have to be careful with that. It'd have to be some kind of creature that you can say, oh yeah, this creature hunts in packs. And that would make it a reason why they would attack you as a group, as opposed to it just being, well, they're interested in you, so now they come and attack you because there's a lot of them. Commercial with me in the sea moth and the raptors are stalkers riding next to me. Wait, you know, somebody wants to animate that. I'm okay with it. The mod for a hotkey with first aid kits. Well, I'm glad somebody thought of, like, fixing what the devs forgot to do. That definitely is something that was left out. Not something they just, you know, say, oh, we're not going to do that because of this reason. That's definitely something they missed. That just, it doesn't make sense that you can't use it from your hotkey slot. You have to open your inventory and click on it. Mod that will attack any source of light. That'd be kind of interesting. I mean, we definitely have the indication that light plays a factor in the game thanks to all the focus on bioluminescence, but at the same time, the way the big leviathans and creatures attract to you is based on your noise level, not on your light level. So having one that actually responds to light and goes after the light would be appropriate considering what we're supposed to have in the game. Oh, Timmy is doing good. He had his birthday earlier this week. He's sleeping. Yeah, he's conked out right now. He just twitched. And, oh, he woke up. I threw a treat down for him. He kind of like, oh, you're talking about, hey, with food. He's sitting there twitching from a dream. He's got a new little bed so he can hang out next to me while I'm at my desk. And not just be on the floor. And then he got a bunch of treats. This dog, he's little, but he's got a big mouth. He has already had he got a big pack of bully sticks. He's already chewed his way through 3, and they're like 8 or 9 inches long, and he'll chew through 1 in a day. I mean, it's an hour, he'll have most of it gone, and just decide he's interested in something else for a little while. But he's doing good. He's just chilling like always. Did I scare off the ghost, or did he get stuck? I know he bumped me and then kind of glitched into the wall. I think I broke the Ghost Leviathan. Hey, works for me. It means this is going to be a lot easier to finish. I don't have to keep dodging him and freezing him. That means, yeah, it's back to just building. I understand why the devs made it so Leviathans can glitch through the walls because of, you know, it easier than dealing with the collision stuff, but at the same time, that does lead to problems in the game, like Leviathans glitching through walls and getting stuck in the wall and not coming back out. I've had the sea dragons do that before, where they disappeared from the game because of it. LeBron, my Cyclops is named Subnautica. Little play on the words there. No, I'm not out of the Ghost Leviathan's turf, because there is the... Well, there's some titanium for me to get in a moment. But yeah, here's the big opening that drops down to the lava zone. That's where he patrols the most. So either he is stuck in the wall, or he decided to run away further up the tunnel. Alright, I saw...
All systems online.
You know, titanium. Oh, some lead too. I think I have enough lead. I'm not using any lead, but I get more. We'll grab a few things while I'm not being constantly attacked here. Because odds are I'll leave the area, he'll come back. A Leviathan with camouflage, I believe that's kind of the idea of the Shadow Leviathan and Below Zero that they are working on implementing still. That you're going to be in an area that's very much, lit up by the bioluminescence of some of the flora in the area, but then you got the Shadow Leviathan that kind of is very dark toned and hides in the darkness. Fish Distributor, if you're talking about the overflow mod for the bioreactor, Jason, it just pulls from any alien containment that is still producing fish. Basically, it just takes away the end of their breeding cycle. So if it says full and it stops breeding normally, in that case, the fish continue to breed, but the new ones are set in for use with the bioreactor. So there's no decorative container or anything. It's you put in 2 tanks, one with Dreginals, one with Oculus, and whichever one, when they reach capacity, each time one of them breeds extra, it will overflow into the bioreactor. So having more bioreactors helps in that case. Just depends on how many you have. Yeah, active camouflage, I know you mean to change pigment to hide, do something like that, like a gecko, or like the Indominus Rex in the Jurassic World movie. But I think they're kind of going in that style, is what I meant. Not so much they're doing active camouflage, but they're going for, a Leviathan that is using camouflage. I mean, like, in terms of this game, we don't really have anything that uses camouflage, and in the Void, the Ghost Leviathans stand out really easily because they're glowing, everything else is dark. So I think they're going for the opposite, where it's going to be a little bit of glow in the area, like darker than this. Think like the Void with maybe a few plants here and there, and then you have this Leviathan that's almost completely black, except for like maybe the eye or something, and there it comes out of nowhere attacking you. I think that's the closest they're going right now with anything in terms of like active camouflage. Yeah, it should be, yes, Jason, if you put a tank with one of each fish, where they're not just one of each type, so like a Reginald, an Oculus, and so on like that, it's not going to just pull from those. It only takes like I said, it stops where normally the breeding process would stop. It just lets it keep going, and the ones that continue to breed are placed into the overflow part of it, which then goes to your bioreactor. So if they're not breeding, you won't have any fish being taken out of the containment. Spoiler free. Are you talking about Below Zero, Gear Guy? Because if that's the one you're talking about, the little cave exploring, I show some stuff. I'm not like showing too much of like, oh, you gotta go here and this is part of the storyline, but I am showing an area where you will find certain things in terms of data box and scans. And then the end of it, I do a test run with the booster tank. And that's pretty much what it is. So I would say it's got some spoilers to it. It just depends on how much you're considering me showing you around a cave, the mining site that you're going to be going to, being a spoiler. I'm not like sitting there saying go here and go into this and do this, but I am going through looking at stuff in it. So if the terraform tool was in the game and not a problem to use in terms of performance, if they had fixed the problem instead of taking the tool out, I already know what I would use it for. The giant mushroom tree. I would go to that one that had like the really tall one, which I've shown like a little, I did a little circular base there kind of thing. I would go to that, and I would hollow out the mushroom tree and build a base that connects in and out of it. That would be what I would do with the terraform tool if it was in the game and not a problem in terms of performance. Alright, we gotta go this way a little bit, because I do want to stay close to the wall as much as I can. I don't want it to stick out and be a driving hazard for my Cyclops. Even though once this is done, I really shouldn't have to go take the Cyclops down here any. This is going to be a case of like, oh yeah, I'm done. I just want to go to the lava zone, get some supplies. Well, I'll go. I'll just hop down there, grab stuff, have a prawn suit down there I can use. Just for the cosmetic aspect. And, alright, I load it up. Bring it back in, let it dock. Dump all the results in. Have auto-sort receptacles on each spot. So we'll go out one more. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting in the end in terms of the theme cosmetics. In terms of, it's going to really be feeling more like a research station is what I'm going for. Without giving you too much information, Gear God, the mining site, there's two ways in. The main one where you'll see the door is a big drop-down cavern, and it is near the Rocket Island. That should not be too much of a spoiler, because if you think about it, they're going to build someplace close to where they're already building anyway, which is the Rocket Island. They have the launch platform there. So it makes sense they would build something that is kind of close by. So there's an opening there. You'll see, you know, Altera equipment. And then there's a secondary opening that is a little bit more dangerous to get through. And you won't see mining equipment. It's kind of a tunnel you need to know is there. And I need to go reinforce some more. I did a good bit of reinforcement. And it did not get me all the way down to the tunnel drop. So yeah, most of the tunnel connecting is going to end up having a lot of reinforcement along the way because of this. Now let's see, there's that drop down which keeps me out of range of attack. I'm going to, yeah, in terms of moon pools and exploration areas, I'm not going to worry about it right around the drop down. It's going to be when we get down to the lava zone. I might do the laser cannon mod still on the battle mode Seamoth. I'm just not sure yet. I want to do it without the laser cannon first. I want to see how much I can do without just a direct, like, here's a high-powered laser gun type thing, you know, combining the extra mod slots to allow for more utility, like having more hull reinforcement so I can take more damage, do a lot more battling, because really the laser cannon mod is so quick and easy to just kill stuff. Even the Leviathan, you just sit there and just start clicking fast, you're going to take them down, no problem. So I want something that actually has more of that engagement level with the combat, instead of it being just start shooting and chase them until they're dead. No Gear Guy is not that dangerous. Well, it's dangerous of losing oxygen, so make sure you take, like, at least your sea truck. If you have the prawn suit is better to take, really, because it can squeeze through certain areas. But main thing would be the you need to have some place where you can go and get your oxygen level back up. And is this the one I already... Yes, that's the one I already built across. But here we go. I'm just going to finish this off. And
Engine powering down.
move down to the next one. So yeah, I'm about to do a bunch more reinforcements. Yeah, but I'm hoping, well, I did, Sean, when I was gathering all the titanium for this build right here, between this stream and last, I did get attacked a good bit by Reapers over there because I was right in their territory, just constantly taunting them. And there were several times I was attacked, and even with the drill mod, I'm saying they're drilling them in the face, and they're just like, ha 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 ha, oh, okay, that hurt a little bit, and then dropped me. I had much better results in terms of getting them to drop my sea moth when they were trying to eat it, using the perimeter defense. So I'm going to, you know, use more of the torpedoes and perimeter defense on the battle mode sea moth initially. The drill, yeah, for certain fish, but against the Leviathans, I'm not going to worry about the drill so much because it does not get them to let go as quickly. Again, I'm going to focus more on, like, having a lot of the reinforcement stuff to reduce my damage. So I'm not, so I can sit there and be, you know, attacked repeatedly and be fine without having to stop to do any major repairs. I think it was, you know, each time the Leviathan, the Reaper got me, I lost maybe, I think the least I lost was like 7% on a single attack. And even on the attacks where he just basically grabbed it after I jumped out to get a scan and then ran off with it, it only took out like 25% damage on it. And that was just the one reinforcement on my current one. So I think when I go put a lot of reinforcement on it, make it really tough, I should be okay to sit there and just take damage, repeat attack-wise, and just make it more of a real combat-style approach than just, like I said, laser cannon mod, just a bunch of pew-pews and they're dead. I think it was like 20 or so hits and I would kill Reaper, so definitely don't want to do that. Yeah, so again, that's also another aspect, is with the mods, not just having the extra mod slots, but the upgraded vehicles mod does help with that because, you know, as Prime Sonic saying, it reduces creature damage, but also, you know, just, I think I get, what, that whole strength increase from just the depth modules on it too. So yeah, I'm just going to push and see how much I can do combat mode wise without just a overpowered cannon type approach to it. I really want to see how much we can do with it beyond that part. Alright, that's 100. And, you know, I could do some there. I'm going to leave that open for decorative purposes. So, that's plus 100 hull strength. That should at least get me into the tunnel drop down. And hopefully, a little bit further.
Engine powering up.
So vehicle hit points will also be another reason why my percentage would have been a lot lower on the reduction when I was attacked. So yeah, I think we should be alright not using the laser cannon, but comes down to it, I'll use the laser cannon. Yeah, Gear Guy, like it's just said, chat. Below zero, waiting for, marble melons or something that we can grow in there. I mean, I've got 4 little wall planters that I have no use for because I can't put anything in them. That's why I've spent a lot of time in below zero recently, going out to gather resources with the Sea Glide, and at the same time, like, oh yeah, titanium, here's quartz. Oh, bladderfish. Bladderfish. Another bladderfish. I think I went and got like 20 at one point just to refill my water supply. Water does seem to run out a lot faster in below zero than in original Subnautica. Like in this game, food and water seems a lot more balanced between the two. But in below zero, it seems like I'll sit there and have, you know, 90 on my food, but I'll be down to 30 on my water constantly. Okay, we are back
Powering down.
into the Ghost Leviathan area. No Ghost Leviathan. He has still not come back. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to, yeah, move further down the tunnel with that. So, alright, we'll go a little bit further out, and then I'm going to curve it back, I think. Yeah, the heat fruit, I could not, I mean, it won't fit because the wall planters only provide a single inventory slot, and the heat fruit takes 2 inventory slots, top to bottom. So it would not fit in that. I was hoping that would be something that, you know, we'd be able to at least start planting, just because of the utility the heat fruit has. And it, to me, in all, you know, aspects, appearance and overall function, it appears to be basically the replacement for the lantern tree in below zero, because you plant it once and it just keeps producing. But yeah, it won't let you plant in that. It's just the wall planters are not big enough to handle the heat fruit. That's why I'm hoping we'll get just at least marble melons soon. And oh, I'm out of room. Or out of range. Yeah, indoor grow bed, but to my knowledge, the grow beds have not been added to the game yet. I have not found them, and I believe I looked on the wiki, and none of the grow beds are actually in the game just yet. Freshly hatched cuttlefish is somewhere in the void. Is an adult cuttlefish leviathan, bigger than anything else. That would not exactly be very cuddly. And if you want to see a cuttlefish leviathan, all you gotta do is go, what was it? There's a multi-tool gun mod that I tested, that it has a grow function to it, so you can target something and it will make that creature grow bigger. I did a oversized biter doing that for fun, and I tried to make, I think I did it for the Reaper Leviathan, and it got so big that it glitched out of the game, because it was, I mean, like, really massive on the Reaper Leviathan when I did that. But yeah, you can check that out and just go drop a cuttlefish out in the void and enlarge it till it can't get any bigger. That sounds like just a fun thing to do just to see how it looks. Like, here's the oversized cuttlefish. I want to see how the animation would work then in that case when you give the cuttlefish a treat. Oh, you don't have oh, you're on PS4, so no mods for you. Oh, that's why you gotta go PC. Okay, how far do I want? Oh, hey, there's more titanium. Right? No, that's lead. There's titanium. You know, this looks like a good drop-down spot. So let's just, I'll do this. I'll do... that. Just so it'll light it up and I can see, hey, that's where I want to have the connecting part that drops down. Yeah, if you... again, with the sea truck, it seems like, yeah, they want you to use the aquarium. Yeah, they want you to use the storage compartment module. They want you to use the sea truck, period. You know, they're kind of leaving certain things out right now, or will later on make things harder to get than they were in this version of the game, to make you use the sea truck. But the sea truck itself is not very good. It's just not. When you look at it, the storage module is, what is like 30 slots of storage or something like that. You could put 2 wall lockers in, taking up less space inside a custom buildable module and have more storage. I really feel like the storage module gives you less than half the amount of storage it should be providing for it to be useful, truly useful, and for it to be, from a realistic engineering standpoint, accurate. I mean, who's going to put something in there and say, you know, I could just build these 2 things and get more? Why are we using this arrangement when this other cheaper arrangement works better? Engineer will not do that. Engineer will sit there and say, yeah, we need to redo this because this makes more sense. It's less room and more supplies. So I really feel like they're going to have to do some major rework on the sea truck still. I don't see that. I do not see its current iteration on it or any of the modules being the final one. I feel like that's going to be one of the big things they do a major rework of before the game goes for release. Because if they don't, they're going to end up with a very disappointing element in the game that is going to make a lot of people not want to play the game using it. Like, I don't want to play using the sea moth. Or sea truck, rather. And in terms of the aquarium module, yeah, you get fish, but it's not the most effective thing. There's times I've driven right through several fish and it didn't collect a single one. So it's not working anywhere near what you would think it should be for that to be the case. Alright, Gear Guy, you found it. I'm assuming you found the main entrance, not the little secret tunnel entrance. Yeah, it could be interesting for the ice worm and cuttlefish to be different stages, but the ice worm also does surface type stuff. It goes up above. I see nothing on the cuttlefish that implies to me amphibious, where it starts in water and then kind of moves upwards. So I don't know if that would be something they could even really implement in that case. But, I mean, I could be wrong. It could be something that they're planning is you eventually find out, oh yeah, the cuttlefish is actually the larval stage of the ice worm. Or maybe the lava larvae are, that's it. That's what they are. They're larvae like that, and then when they get bigger, they have to go from a hot area to a cold area. Because they generate their own heat, and they overheat at that point if they're not in a colder area. That could be an interesting twist there. And yeah, Omaha, I know, you know, some cars are just badly designed in that, but, you know, a car, you're not going way down underwater. You know, if you look at submarines, that's a completely different story from, you know, a car standpoint. Because with submarines, you know, if you're like, hey, I'm diving to the Marianas Trench, you're going to be down there for a while. You're going to be, like, taking a lot of equipment with you. You want to make sure you have research equipment with you. You know, it's the same thing as designing a rover to go to Mars. You're not going to send a rover to Mars and say, you know what, that extra little drill arm, that doesn't look good there. Take it off. Put a nicer cosmetic looking thing there. No, they're going to say, we don't care if it looks ugly, we care if it works. And that's pretty much what it should be for the sea truck, is it shouldn't be a matter of how does this look? It's, does this actually provide the utility it needs to provide for actual use. Alright, let's try dropping from here. This looks like I'm far enough out. If I'm too far, I'll go back. I'm fine with that. It's, you know, extra time of me having to dismantle things again, but I'll go back if I have to. This is where we're going to have the really long drop down with this. Yeah, that's true. You can't... The cuttlefish do not hatch. Well, I don't know. I've never actually dropped a cuttlefish outside in the water, you know, right outside my base. So I would say for sure that the cuttlefish can't hatch there. I haven't seen it where they just sit there. I know right now the sea monkeys do not hatch apparently inside the containments in below zero, because I've got a pair of eggs that are still sitting there not hatching. So it's possible, yeah, the cuttlefish, you know, have to have a certain environment to hatch. But it still would be a case if it's the ice worm or something like that. What is coming in to drop the eggs off? You know, in this we see at least the, you know, big mama, you know, the emperor. And we know she's producing these little eggs. And when they hatch, here's these big, you know, pretty big babies. You know, the cuttlefish could be very much a tiny starting point for a really big creature in the end. I mean, dinosaurs, if you look at the sauropods, some of them were, like, what was it, the Apatosaurus, some of those, the really massive ones, the biggest ones, you know, it'd be the size of a large dog when they were born, and then they turn into these towering giants because they grow so fast. They're, you know, they're constantly eating stuff like that. I think if it was, you know, from a realistic perspective, if the cuttlefish was a start really small, become a big massive leviathan of some sort, you'd see them constantly going out trying to eat, and we'd see more of them. Because at some point, they're going to have to become big enough that they then start migrating out to wherever they are when they're really big, which makes sense in the void. You have more room for a bigger... you know, you need more space for it to move around as it gets bigger. So having it go out into the void to grow would be fine. I just think then we'd see them in the void. We would see more of them somewhere. We see some kind of larger form of them. At least going around somewhere. Or they are so scarce, which I don't see that being the case, that, you know, you don't see them anywhere. Or at least larger versions of them anywhere. Which would still go back to, where are the eggs coming from? Something's coming in to lay the eggs. Assuming they were not just collected and kept by the precursors at some point. So somewhere some creature is coming in to drop off the eggs. You think at some point we might see at least that happen in the game. Oh yeah, you found the Rubik's Cube, your guy? Yeah, see if you can break the code on that. I'll time what it takes to walk from one end to the other. We'll do it as like a time for a commute time for somebody going to work. Like, oh, here, this is the person, you know, this is one of the researchers in his, you know, apartment. He gets up in the morning, he has his shower, he's ready to go to work. How long does it take for him to walk from his house or his apartment through all the corridors, down all the ladders, all the way down to the far lava zone research station? We'll time it like that. What's the worst commute time somebody's going to have for this base? I think I found all of the precursor tech that you could get, like that 15 to 15. I know originally they had like a, 50 tech pieces you would have to find, and I had something like, or not 50, it was 25. I think maybe it was 50. I can't remember. It was something like each one counted for 2 points or something like that. I know I scanned quite a few through that first bit of gameplay, but I haven't found any since really a recent update that was stuff I had not already scanned. And oh yes, I cleared it. I was getting worried for a second. I saw I was getting close to the edge here. Okay, it's getting really slow on that part. Oh yeah, very close. Oh, it's them. Okay. I was like, don't tell me the Ghost Leviathan is about to pop out of the wall and get me at this point. Alright, so it was 50, but is it now 15 total? They changed it, or is that a split? Like, there's 50 total, but they split it between 15 on this and, like, 25 on this. I know I haven't seen anything recently that says, scan this, and it tells me I've got this many of this many precursor. Did he just bump me while I was... Yeah, he is. He is bumping me around while I'm trying to build. Now I'm in their territory, and wow, yeah, this is getting very slow. So it may be a combination of how much calculation is going into the hull integrity. Not so much just that I am crossing a large plate area of the map, but more that I have a part of the base where this component counts for minus 0.1 hull strength, and then the same component is also being built in another spot that now counts for minus 0.9 hull strength. So it could very well be a factor of the variability of all the different pieces having to change in the calculation based on my depth. Kind of looks like a snake in a way there. I know I've still got titanium and such over there to mine out. I'm not going to do it just yet. I'm just going to keep building. There's titanium. Actually, it'd be a good time to go ahead and get that. Yeah, let's save before I lose everything. This will take a moment. There we go. The Emperors, the juveniles, I do not know if they actually ever get to a point where they're like reproducing their own eggs, which technically at that point, it's they're all the same mother, so I'm pretty sure there might be some kind of issue with some genetic diversity for that. But maybe they do at some point. I think even in below zero, we still see them as juveniles. Like they've spread out, and what, below zero is 100 years later, I think it is, or it's years later. I know that at least. So we've got the juveniles have spread to another major area of the world, but they're still considered juveniles. So I don't think we've ever gotten to the point where we actually see far enough into the life cycle time period for them to get to even a point of producing eggs. Okay, so below zero is a few months later. It seems like they did a lot of building for it to be only a few months afterwards. Like, no account for travel time to, get the expedition ready and be like, okay, well, we need to send an expedition out there. We're gonna send a space station out there. It seems like that seems a little too unrealistic, even with future technology, that they would have been like, all right, well, they'll just get out there a couple months later and You know, maybe I could see like 18 months, 24 months later, you know, going like 2 years for them to be like, okay, tell us everything you know, and let's plan things out, and then they go and start doing their, you know, research. But, yeah, even at that, if it's, you know, the PDA, like it says, the Emperor only lays eggs once in a lifetime, you gotta think how old the original Emperor is. She's been around for a long time, you know, and we're only seeing the juveniles, so it could be a case that it might be 200 years, it might be 1,000 years before they ever are mature enough to lay eggs. How did the guy from Subnautica pay off his debt? You know what he did? He went back and said, I'll tell you exactly where to go to find the gun platform that I've already disabled for you. And I'll tell you where to find their power source to study it, so you can figure out a new way to power, you know, our worlds, our technology. I'll give you all the information, and we wipe my debt clean. And you also give me a finder's fee, 10%. It probably didn't go that way. Probably, he probably was, like, told, you're going to be working for us the rest of your life to pay off your debt. Like, please, I was surviving. I don't care if you say it was yours. I was the one surviving there. As far as I'm concerned, it's mine. And, you know, what was it? I mentioned it earlier, the Martian. Was it in the Martian, he claims to be the one to colonize the world because he says somebody said if you can grow food, you have truly colonized. I'm growing food here, so I have truly colonized this place before anyone from Altera. So I am I'm just trying to survive, and as a result I have colonized this world. This is officially my world. That's what it is. I go back and I tell them, well, from a legal standpoint, I own the place. You know, it's my colony. Yeah, I figure it's probably a case of, like I said, he goes and says, yeah, I'll tell you about all this stuff and where to go and everything, and they just drop it. But me, I'd be like, you know what? I can save you a lot of time and trouble, and you give me, you excuse everything and give me 10% of all profits from the expedition on everything, and I get residuals on all technology developed as a result of this research. And stuff like that. But same time, I'll be like, well, you know, according to articles, whatever, Space-Time Mariner's Law, I'm the only surviving person to have gotten off the planet after I planted my own crops and grew my own food. I farmed the planet. I colonized it. It's my colony. It is a spice world. That's what it is. This spice world, you know, and that's what we're gonna call it. And they have to pay me to have access to the planet, even though technically I'd have to file some kind of legal dispute saying, yeah, they invaded my world. I'm a sovereign nation. This is war. But how am I gonna pay for anything? Yeah, no, if I had already got here, had already dealt with warpers and everything like that, and, you know, I was like, I made it home. I got out of here. It was about, you know, I didn't survive and, like, poverty. I wasn't sitting there struggling. I got to the point where I was doing really well. But it's not like I want to go back for a vacation. You know, surviving on a tropical island might seem ideal, but you know, until you have a good source of food and water, fresh water, even what appears to be a paradise can actually be a terrible place to try and survive. So, yeah, I would not come back. If it was me and I survived, I'd be like, the only way I'm going back is you're giving me a lot of money to oversee the expedition in terms of what we bring back. Alright, I'm gonna have to go back and do more reinforcements before we get all the way to the lower end, but at least I have not had to stop once because I ran out of titanium. I have stopped to gather some titanium because it's been presented to me right here, but I haven't stopped and said, okay, I gotta go back up to the top area and we'll do like 30 minutes of gathering up metal salvage or looking for drillable titanium. No. So I've done well with my harvesting off screen. I just need to go do reinforcements again. At least this is the easiest part because it does so little in terms of reduction. And oh no, did I just jinxed myself. I said I haven't had to stop for titanium because I haven't run out yet, and now I'm out. I think I just used up the last of it all. Let's scout the area, see if I can find some here. Timmy? There you go. Timmy's going back to sleep again. He's just like laying there, all chill and relaxed. He doesn't care about Subnautica. He just wants to hang out. Ah, perfect. Well, I'll scour all this before I go back up to get metal salvage. You would want to go back if your Cyclops was named Bruce. I think I would just say, tell you what, why don't you guys go back there and you just you know, ship it back to me. You know, UPS it. Universal Parcel Service. I think I have a lot of quartz still. I really just want titanium. I know I got a lot of gold. I got a bunch of copper again, finally. So this is the further extent of where I'm going. Into this little area. Yeah, so we're coming up on an hour and a half. So halfway through, I would say I spent about 80-90 minutes gathering up titanium for this trip. The total time drive there, gather everything, drive back. So if I was to do the same thing again, I don't think I would get very much more done on this, but I'm at least getting close. And we're getting some titanium this way first. Ah, got attacked. What mods do I recommend? Definitely the extra mod slots. As you see, I've got 12, which is, I mean, 12 might be overkill in terms of game balance, but 4 is just ridiculously pitiful, in my opinion. It doesn't really give you much of anything for it. So I definitely say the more mod slots, so you can add more mods, even if you just use the stock ones. Just get that so you can have like the 4 storage modules. and add in something like, you know, if you do the sea moth upgrades, the drill is great if you are not a fan of the prawn suit. Definitely the depth modules upgrade, meaning you can get around a little bit better for, even if you just use it for quick scouting or resource gathering trips. There is a thermal module, but I don't really use that. It's mainly the solar module is the big one I use right now. But I would say start with the extra mod slots so you can decide what you need on top of the stock ones and just be able to add more function to it. Plenty of quartz still all around here. Am I back to the other tunnel? Yes. I think. Oh ho. Alright, not close enough. Where'd you go? Bye-bye. If they gave me a super exosuit reinforced with diamond and a harpoon gun arm, would I go back? Are you talking about still like leaving the original game and coming back in below zero? Because no, I would be like, I want a freaking laser gun. I mean, come on, I scanned an alien rifle. Can you not reverse engineer the alien rifle and give me one of those? Like, yeah, the reinforced suit, the extra strong one, sure, I like that. Thank you guys for being considerate. But give me a laser gun. You know, Dr. Evil got sharks with freaking laser beams. I want a freaking laser gun. I think at the point, if they just say, you know what, you owe us this money, you owe us money because of everything you collected on the planet that technically, you know, you're the one that colonized because you are the surviving one who managed to farm on it. I'd be like, look, you wipe that debt, you pay me for the information I give you about the technology, and you leave me alone. I'm retired. I would tell them, you know what, I'll go back if you build me a luxury resort and let me just live on my own. Like the big floating island. Send me back. I'll tell you where, you know, you'll find the rocket platform, the Aurora, all that. Send me back and give me resources. Don't even worry about helping me. Just give me the resources for it. I'll do it. And let me build a nice little resort for myself, a retirement place, and then stay away from me. Just leave me alone. Let me live out my retirement there on the floating island with my own tons of food and water and just, yeah, self-sustaining setup all on my own. And you just go do whatever you want with the precursor tech. Alright, see you next time, Gear Guy. I will tell Timmy bye for you. Bye, Timmy. Gear Guy says bye. He's asleep again. He's all curled up and just, yep, it's time to nap. Let me guess, where are you? Oh, there you are. He's kind of getting closed in on me. Alright, so that's more titanium. Not as much as like a, you know, series of harvest runs for Metal Salvage, but I do have almost the same amount of titanium that I would normally get in Metal Salvage. That was a full container, and I focused strictly on titanium. And there's more titanium the other way, so I may be able to avoid having to go back for a little while. Oh yeah, you know, the unimportant guy. Well, I really didn't find a cure, if you want to put it that way. I didn't, like, it's not, I'm saying there with my test tubes and research stuff, figuring out a cure for it. I'm not a biologist in this. I just did something. I played nice with the Sea Emperor, and she said, here, hatch my young. I hatched the young, and bam, they start spitting out the enzyme to cure everything. So I didn't really cure anything. I just kind of helped nature cure everything. And it's, you know, now leaving them to spread throughout the waters and spread the enzyme everywhere to cure everything. So I really can't say like, oh yeah, I've cured the planet, so you owe me for that. Yeah, they don't have a choice. They'd have to listen to me, or they'd have to, I mean, I can't remember if anything's ever said about you having family in this, but maybe they decide to say, oh, well, you know, your brother, who is our one of our engineers over here, he just lost his job, and the mortgage on his family's home, we're going to go ahead and foreclose on them and kick them out. You know, they might do something like that. Well, you know, when you think of the warpers, it depends on if they come in and they get infected right away. I mean, it took some time for me to get infected, but there was no enzyme being spread throughout the waters to cure the bacterial infection. So it might be, you know, the new crew comes in, start their research, and, you know, if they came to this area, might not have to worry about it so much. The enzymes being spread throughout the water, everything's getting cured in the end. Now, going to below zero area, different story, you know. I mean, yes, we've got, obviously, the enzyme being spread there. We've got the juveniles in the waters in that area. That doesn't mean everything's completely cured yet. I think it'd be more of a case of, well, you can either spend all this time, you know, put satellites out there and start scouring the planet and spend months looking for signatures of what might be alien technology, or I can just tell you where to go. Alright, see ya, Prime Sonic. Have fun playing Dungeon Master with your missus. If the enzyme is not enough to cure the bacteria, then there's a flaw in the gun platform element of the story, because it checks to see if you're cured. I mean, that's part of the thing. You can't disable the gun platform until it tests your blood to see if you're cured of the infection. That's what the enzyme's supposed to do. It's supposed to cure you of infection, so you're safe to leave. Alright, I'm finally down to the point where it's saying -1 on the hull strength from each connector, but I think it just did 0.9 on that. No, there it goes. It's doing the full one. Yes, Cash, the lag is from the game, not from anything streaming. That's just part of the game not being able to handle the large size of the base. Alright, we can get a little bit more. I also don't want to run out of titanium, because I'm going to have to build some reinforcements. It says -1, but now I've got 3.3. I was at 8.2 earlier. So it's like it's not entirely a full -1. It's just -9 point something. And I'm out of titanium again. Alright, it is time to eat. And let's save too. We're an hour and a half hour and a half in.
All systems online.
Alright, well see that if the enzyme did nothing to cure it, just slow the effects and the spread of the bacteria down, then in that case, technically, I'm still infected, even when the gun platform tests me to say I'm not infected. And that means when this character leaves the planet and goes back to Earth or wherever, he carries that bacteria with him, and now, before people even get here, they would be getting infected by the main character here, having carried that bacterial infection with them back, if the enzyme did not cure them. Again, it's supposed to be the gun platform itself, that scanner, tests your blood to see if you are cured. So either the enzyme is doing enough to mask the effect, which you think the precursors would, with as much as they have done with other stuff, have the forethought for it, or it's a flaw in the logic of the game story, which is very much a possibility. If you're not actually cured in the end, then you're infecting anything or anyone that you come in contact with when you leave the planet. So in that sense, they should, you know, when you get picked up and you return to, you know, Earth or wherever, and they say, hey, before you are allowed back in, we're going to quarantine you for 6 months. And then 6 months later, you're dead because guess what? You're still infected with that bacteria. It's no longer a case of how much money are you making. It's, well, you're gonna die either way, so yeah, do it. Oh, come on, at some point you've got to stop burping. That's a really long burp. Okay, I'm over here now. Ah, okay, so it is curing you because you got it from the healthy juvenile. Well, the juveniles still, they're the ones out there spreading the enzyme around the world. I mean, even now I've got juveniles out there spreading enzyme and getting bigger. So it's still at some point you're going to have, even a new crew would come here and be interacting with juveniles that are out there curing the world because they're healthy enough to produce that enzyme. So you're going to have, yeah, a stable form of enzyme all around the world, or slowly being spread around the world. And, I mean, I guess if you think about it, it would be a case of you have you have like this being the epicenter of the cure, and it slowly spreads from here. So depending on how close the below zero biome area is to this, is how much time it would take for the cure to reach there. Now, I get a little bit more out of this. We're going to take this back up, and I'm just going to do reinforcements at this point. I don't want to even waste time building anything further down until I get the hull strength way up again. I think I'm straight out. Oh wait, there we go. There's my, here's where the last base was built. I am right here next to the last base area. Yeah, there's my 3 pillars that I built around. Now, how much more open it looks when I don't have a super sized base sitting there. Oh, Goku, if you want to talk making sense in the game, then you're going to have to still explain why, even after people have tried to explain it, saying, oh, it's booting in emergency mode, why is it the PDA loses all information about all life forms on the planet? I can understand booting emergency mode and having, like, you know, that's the emergency firmware type thing, but making you rescan everything? No. Even emergency mode on something like that should have still at least something regarding like your building options. And it said extracting. Am I out of like, is that broken or something? Did my auto sort break? That might be why it was yeah, it did. It's again, this is broken. So that's why I'm not getting stuff out of the vehicle. I was wondering why it was so full. I know I'm not out of room here because I cleared so much space with the Metal Salvage that I used up for titanium to build everything. That's broken though. Maybe doing this will re-enable it. No. Alright, so did I actually empty anything out then? No, it did not. So yeah, the dot vehicle access has decided to stop working now. Well, that's gonna slow things down. It looks like it stopped after like maybe the first or second round that I did. That seems super slow too in terms of the auto sort. And it's like it's only sorting to the one. It's not using the secondary for some reason now.
Engine powering up.
One. There we go. Alright, we're gonna go back up to build some more reinforcements again. Yeah, again. So we've made it into the tunnel, at least. That's... Yeah, okay, the stalactite. Oh, and I am going to have to go through. I might do, I might have to load up with some titanium and do a run down through it because I still have to add ladders on everything. Yeah, I know people say, Goku, that's kind of the theme behind it, non-essential data, but... And I can understand saying, okay, well, we're going to get rid of information about the local, you know, plant life and animal life. But I'm pretty sure having the information for the ultra-high capacity tank is more beneficial to survival than just the standard air tank. So there's a lot of stuff that it does lose, that if that's the excuse for it, and a lot of people say this, there should be certain things included like that. You know, the ability to produce that, because that's definitely more beneficial to your survival than just the standard tank. even if it's harder to build, it's still more beneficial. I think I did finish that one completely on all reinforcements.
Engine powering
So we're gonna do this. We're gonna start from here. And I definitely need a lot of reinforcement because I still have some more vertical connectors to build, but more importantly, oh, now I'm getting some major lag on doing that. I've still got a long trunk to build into the lava zone. Yeah. Oh, and I did the wrong thing. I did the window. Well, no, it's not so much the PDA is deciding. It's not like the PDA has... If the PDA has enough processing power to have a proper AI that makes a decision like that, then I'm pretty sure the PDA has enough storage capacity to store things like what would be essential to a human life. And the PDA is booting in emergency mode. It's kind of like saying Windows booting into safe mode. You're going to have certain things turned off that are not essential to what you might want to do work-wise. Like, I'm not going to have all my antivirus and everything up and running kind of stuff, but, you know, you might not have that plugin for Spotify running because that's for more of your personal preference, but for general functionality and use of the system, you're still going to have everything you need to be able to do stuff. You know, and at least do some troubleshooting. So I think it's more of it's a flaw in the logic of it, really. It's not so much the PDA smart enough to do this or that. It's just a flaw in the logic to make the game work better for story aspects, and that, yeah, that's why you don't just have access to all this information. You know, we're advanced, and it's not like we just suddenly have access to all this information already because of the PDA having like a universal database. It's not the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with just information on everything everywhere. You know, it's done in a way to make it where you have to basically, instead of earning experience points, you're going out and finding information to unlock new things. It's just the same as if in another game, you know, you go and kill all these creatures to get experience points and level up your skill. I know it says data is corrupted, but if the data is corrupted, then you probably would not just lose that information. You'd lose a lot more. It's very specific to what information you have suddenly lost with it booting in emergency mode. You know, I work in IT. I deal with data recovery at times. I've had to do, you know, recovery from almost dead drives. And sometimes you get exactly what the person wants recovered, and sometimes you get only the system files. Sometimes you can't even get to system files. It's just some of the data. You might get a few pictures. You might get, you know, their program files. It's not... If it's going based on the corruption, then that's just a very lucky corruption that you lost that specific stuff, but nothing to do with the voice mechanics of the PDA itself or whatever, in terms of the information system and how the PDA functions. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Altera doesn't care about their employees. We know that. That's why they're giving, you know, I'm sitting here being told I'm going to have to pay for everything that I'm gathering in order to survive. So it very well could just be cheap equipment. Altera doesn't care about me or any other employee, especially a lowly employee that I'm supposed to be. So that might very well be the excuses. I got really cheap equipment. And it's just like, well, we don't have the you know, we're not going to put enough memory in it to, you know, enough storage capacity for it to hold all the data we need and do so in a way that it's protected. No, I do not fix damaged drives. Like, if you're talking about taking the platters out, I don't do that because that requires a clean room to make sure you don't get any particulates on the platters that could cause a problem in reading the data. I usually have it sent off or something like that. But I have done my own research and learning of forensic approaches, so I do occasionally have to go in and try to recover data from a drive where maybe the partition is not recognizing. And I go in and, you know, have to scan for files from the drive and have it reconstruct the files based on finding the file type header in the raw information of the drive. So I do that sort of stuff, but I'm not disassembling the drive and, like, rebuilding it. Yeah, I can say the PDA does look flimsy, but at the same time, you gotta think, based on what we build here underwater, the, you know, the connector tubes that we use in this game do not look like they would be strong enough to withstand some of the pressures that they would be experiencing this far down. You know, and we have nothing that causes us to have, you know, that decompression sickness or anything. So yeah, there's certain aspects of the game you have to give the developers because they decided to ignore the logic behind it so the game would be a little bit more enjoyable instead of being super focused on realism. There are the games that focus on the realism and the logic of every aspect of it, and some of those games people, you know, really love because of that, but then some of them you get to that point where it's like, well, it's not fun anymore because this is so tedious to do. I might as well just go and, you know, I'm playing the game for fun, not to relive the suffering of daily life. Yeah, well, if the Dagazi, again, going back to if the bacteria is supposed to kill typically within 2 weeks, roughly, you know the Dagazi lived a lot longer than that. The bacteria was already released at that time because otherwise you would still have basically precursors here. And the Dagazi probably would have been able to get off the planet if it had not been for the gun platform. So if the Dagazi lived for quite a while, they obviously either were not infected by the bacteria, which seems very unlikely, or the bacteria just did not kill them. They obviously didn't go through the whole process of getting cured. So, yeah. The reason there's so many PDAs is you've also got the life pods from other people. You know, the other survivors of this crash having PDAs with them. And then you have the fact that, well, you know, if the Dagazis got out to certain areas, why did they leave the PDAs? Why are so many PDAs dropped in certain places that are not involved with, like, a life pod? Yeah, it's like your personal PDA. Same thing as having a cell phone at this time. That's their PDA for work purposes. We don't have like a traditional handheld radio, so you gotta assume in some cases, you know, for short range communication, that probably the PDA serves for that purpose. You know, it's the walkie-talkie for that. Maybe they died where the PDA dropped. That's possible, but again, you know, it's made clear that in some cases the Dagazi, you know, crew were able to survive for quite some time. It seems more likely they were either eaten or died of some other disease or maybe died of old age. We're already back to the really bad lag on it. That's really gonna make this more of a frustration to keep building now because of that lag when it's calculating. Hey, Michael, it's going all right. How's it going for you? I feel like this is a longer vertical connector chain than from the surface to that spot at the entrance to the tunnel. But I'm not sure. I feel like it is. Maybe it's just because it's taking so long to build it now with how much delay there is after each piece getting placed. This is why it gets tedious to build bases in this, because when you get to this point, you're adding 3, 4, 5 seconds of delay after each component while it's trying to figure out what to do. Oh, I understand that. I always try to go get groceries really early in the morning or really late in the evening. Am I already... It's saying I'm already out of titanium again. Because I did not have any automatically dumping out of the CMOS storage. So that stopped working midstream. Hello, Cajun.
All systems online.
Yeah, you go grocery shopping really early in the morning. Like, yo, when most people on a weekend are especially still, like, rubbing their eyes just waking up. You get in there and you get out quickly. You know, I'm there 30 minutes and I get everything I need for a week. Versus you go after lunchtime when there's tons of people there and it's, you know, an hour and a half to get the same amount of stuff. Not because so much of getting everything, because there's not that many people cluttering it up, but it's when you get there and you can't check out very quickly. Yeah, that's the other thing. Logic-wise, there's a submarine that it says it's a 3-person submarine, but you can manage to pilot it on your own. We have, well, you know, a repair bay that can automatically repair docked vessels. I mean, there's certain aspects to that in terms of the arms. You know, we see, even now you have mechanical arms, robot arms that will go and automatically do things in assembly lines. It doesn't have that much of a far-fetched aspect to it in this case, really, on the repair mechanism. Why it automatically repairs in the Cyclops once you put in that module versus not having that function in the Moonpool doesn't make sense. If you could do it in the Cyclops, it seems like you should be able to add an automatic repair element to the Moonpool and not have to manually repair it in the Moonpool itself. And since we never see anything like take the Seamoth, you know, power cell out or the prawn suit power cell out to recharge, we're assuming that they connect in some mechanism to power the vehicle. You know, it's got to be some kind of mechanism that powers it. So why not have something similar to the way we have a handheld device that just, in a sense of current technology, magically builds stuff for us, whether you consider it by nanoparticle manipulation, whatever you want to call it. You know, we have a handheld tool that builds. instead of having some kind of special thing. So we're on that Star Trek technology level with this game, and yet we have a PDA that can't handle a few bumps. And I'm grabbing copper while I can. Roaring Sea Dragon looks like a yawning dog. Well, my dog is not yawning at the moment. We could check and see in a moment. We could compare if he wants to yawn on the camera. Probably won't, though. Well, he'll just sit there and look funny at the camera like, what is this thing? And why are you holding me up to it? I'm grabbing copper because I do need copper. Yes, I am using mods, Cajun. Because that makes the game worth playing still. I've played it too many times vanilla to play it anymore without mods. Let's see, I need more titanium still. I think I've got, well, more copper. I mean, I really need titanium right now, but copper has become a thing that I have been short of several points, so I'm gonna get that. Cajun, if you look in the description below, I've got a full list of my current mods that I've got loaded. So if you want to check it out, it's got the mod names and links to every single one of them. There we go. All right, give me my copper. I'm sorry, copper is just something I really need to stock up on. I hate being in that spot where I need copper because it's not so abundant in terms of stuff you can just go out and get. You know, there's only certain areas where the big boulders appear. And titanium, I just go get Metal Salvage all day long and be fine. It's like quartz. Copper and quartz, when you really need them, become harder to find. Yeah, Altera's like the worst company to work for. They're kind of like the epitome of bad companies. Think what was it like in that? Well, I never looked at the comics, but the movie Tank Girl back in the 90s, you had the water and power that, you know, controlled all the water. Then you had, was it Rocco's Modern Life? You had that company Mr. Big Head worked for, where their slogan was something like, "We own you." You know, it's that. Well, if you don't like it, then go find a job elsewhere. Oh, wait, you can't. Because we're the big corporation that owns everything. You know, Altera's like that, maybe not on Earth, but in terms of space colonies and space research, they seem to have that monopoly aspect going, where they control everything. Extracting items from vehicle storage. Tell me it's going to work now that I cleared everything out. Extracted 39 items, so it works again. It just seems like it must have got stuck. No, it's working. It's just not working with the auto sort now for some reason. So it'll take stuff out. It just won't dump it over for me automatically, which means I have to do extra work. I might have an update I'm needing. Yeah, I know it, you know, we mentioned earlier, we don't know what our main character has waiting for him back home. He might have a family, you know, wife, children. I don't think it's ever said that he does or doesn't. We definitely don't know if he's got brothers, sisters, you know, parents still alive. So it very well could be a case that you're like, you know what? We get back and Altera's like, well, if you don't do this, then we're going to foreclose on your brother's home and kick him out, or, you know, foreclose on your parents, or, you know, that loan you have, to put your parents into that, you know, retirement home or that retirement resort on planet so-and-so, yeah, we need you to finish paying that loan off now. We don't know what's going on with that. They may be putting, you know, they might use that as an excuse to make him tell them everything. Because honestly, if I was going back, oh, he has 5 children? Oh, 5 children on 4546B. You're talking about the cuttlefish, aren't you? Yeah, I think it'd be a case of, you know, forget the fact that you say I owe you anything for a planet that you claim ownership of, and yet, depending on laws, you know, using the Martian as a reference, he says something with maritime laws. If you successfully farm an area, it considers you to be the one that has colonized it. I have colonized this. I'm the one that survived, made it back, healthy. So this is technically my planet. I'm the official colonizer of the planet. I own it. So I owe them for supplies that I collected on my own planet? No. I'd argue with them on that. I get all legal with them. Yes, they probably have a much better legal team than I could afford. But, you know, in the end, it's basically like, well, you know, I've made it back and you're going to tell me I owe you all this money? Yeah, forget you. I'm just going to say no. I'm not paying any of that. And if you don't like it, then, you know, what are you going to do about it? You're going to tell me I have to keep working for you? I quit. Oh, I owe you money? Well, guess what? You know that planet that you're wanting to go to? I know where the tech is. I know where all the alien stuff is. I survived. And if you want me to tell you anything, you're going to listen to what I have to say. Oh, yeah, the juveniles, they could take care of themselves. I mean, they're already juveniles. By the time I get out of here, they're wise enough. I'm not feeding them. I'm not having to kill the, you know, Reaper Leviathans that are trying to eat them. Actually, you got one swimming not far from the tunnel entrance next to a Reaper Leviathan, and he's perfectly fine. So I'm assuming they could take care of themselves. They're not my children, they're stray dogs. They were abandoned because their mother died. And not a single one of them has called me either mama or dada. If they started talking to me saying, hey, you're my father. No. I swear, I did not touch that emperor. I'll start preparing my presidential denial speech saying, yes, I swear I did not have sexual relations with that emperor. You were already laid before I ever met your mother. Okay, the Reapers fear the Emperor. It's supposed to be don't fear the Reaper. That's the song. And we need more cowbell in it. I did not bring him into this world. I just, you know, brought some, I brought them some vitamins, that's all. That's like your friend, you know, you got a friend and his wife's pregnant and you say, hey, I bought you these prenatal vitamins. Okay, I'm now the daddy. No, it doesn't work that way. Maybe if I went through an adoption form, okay, but I didn't fill out any paperwork on those. That's why I adopted the cuttlefish from the zoo. I think it's more of the Reapers, not so much thinking as an emperor. Crap, run. Because you don't see them actually, like, running away. They're not, like, leaving from them. They just swim around and ignore them. So going back to they're not told to target that creature. And I'm out of titanium again. I think it's more of a case of he's too big for me to try and actually eat. You know, the Reapers don't seem to be so much the shark of this area. It seems like they have a little bit more intelligence than, let's bite this and see if it tastes good. That to me is more like the sand sharks. They jump out and just take a bite. You know, my sea moth's too big for the sand shark to eat and a bite, but they still want to take a bite of it occasionally. I see the Reaper Leviathans being more like, that's too big. I'm going to go for the smaller stuff that I can bite and eat in a couple of, you know, chunks, rather than something that I'm going to have to sit there and fight maybe some other Reaper for, because, you know, it's too big for me to eat in one bite. Have to defend against a bunch of smaller predators. You give the sand sharks treats? Well, if you manage to successfully tame one where he follows you around like a pet, I want video. I just killed a lava larva. It's not roadkill, because there's no road. I mean, is it sea kill? Ocean kill? Or would you just call it a water kill? Just to be like, okay, whether it's an ocean, sea, lake, whatever. You're in water, so it's just a drive-by water kill. Boat kill. Well, it's not a boat. Submersible kill. A sub-kill. But then you get your sub-kill, and it sounds like it's not a full kill. The Stalker is programmed to become untamed after a while. I know from my experience, I've never had the Stalkers that I released ever attack me. Now, they do slowly start to get further and further away at times, trying to get, you know, Metal Salvage. And depending on where they venture out to get Metal Salvage, they can slowly adjust their area that they patrol. But I've never had one that I released come and try to attack me because of taking Metal Salvage away from them. And I'm pretty sure, I think I've released a sand shark out from containment and immediately been attacked by them. I do not believe all of the creatures that you raise in containment are considered tame. I know I've released some and have been immediately attacked by them. Spicy Leviathan, that's fine. Alright, we're not even messing with your Spicy Leviathan friends right now. We're kind of down here, and I see more copper, but I want to get titanium first. I want to finish building at least the vertical connection. We got 45 minutes left till I normally end anyway. We are close. I'm not going to get it finished, but I'm going to get at least partially into the lava zone. Really, the ending point, I'm going to build another big research base type location where it's going to expand around the final drop down. So I'm definitely going to want to do some more work with that and avoid getting attacked too much by a sea dragon at that time. This might be a cool place to just be like, you know what, I'm not going to be using the sea moth, like exploring with it. It's going to be, you know, here's prawn suits. So maybe putting some defensive measures in place. You know, like the theme of this being like a research facility type thing, research station. Maybe doing a trial where we're testing to see how much the tiger plants will actually function in terms of offensive, defensive. Yeah, John Scott, I remember you saying you changed your name on that. Build a bridge from one island to the other. You mean like the floating island to the mountain island, Ballistics Boy? Because I'm pretty sure you can. There's no, like, support structure physics to this. You can take a piece of the base out and leave a floating, you know, connector tube just sitting there and it won't fall. There's no physics to the game like that, as in other games. Like Plant Nomads, you take a piece out, if it doesn't have support, it'll, you know, drop another piece because of that. But not in the Below Zero, or Subnautica, or Below Zero, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure they haven't changed even Below Zero to do differently. I'm gonna grab some of these because we'll replant when I go back up at the end of this. But at some point, I will be going back upwards to have to collect more resources, more titanium for finishing up the build next stream, I'm sure. Or finishing up, not the whole build, but at least this, you know, the tunnel section, main tunnel stuff. There we go, we're gonna get some more titanium. Hey, Victory Shout, good morning. It's later in the day for me than it is for you. Sea Dragon only takes damage from certain items fired from propulsion. So you fired gold at him. That's probably the most financially, or one of the most financially expensive options you could use for ammunition. Did you try doing diamond? Because that really would, like, make things super expensive. I swear, Altera, that was the only thing I had to use for ammunition against that big sea dragon thing. I'm sorry that I owe you like $1 bajillion because of it. I'm sorry, Spicy. I on Sundays I was streaming late for Twitch, but I just, now that I'm taking a break from doing that and I've left Twitch, I'm realizing that just did not work for my schedule anymore. I can't do Sunday streams so much anymore. Yeah, Ion Cube would be expensive too, because technically that's a material you can't get anywhere other than worlds with precursor technology, and at this point we only know of this one. Ooh, tell me I've got room for, yes. So I can at least finish this. So I'm not coming back to search for rolling titanium pieces. Yeah, I feel like I might take a break from Below Zero again at this point. I'm trying more building stuff, but even the building mechanics in the game seem like I understand the devs are trying to implement new things. That's fine. I understand we're getting new aspects to the game, but I've played this very early during development, and I cannot say I ever remember Subnautica feeling as clumsy as Below Zero feels, honestly. And Below Zero, they have an advantage. They already have any components they're bringing over from Subnautica. They already have that. It's just ported over and redo some of the, like, what are they doing? I'm sure they're probably trying to clean up some code, but it seems like they're not doing too much on that, because there are certain bugs I've seen transferred over from Subnautica to Below Zero, because they just brought the straight elements over and immediately, hey, here's the same bugs. We didn't fix it when we transferred it over. So yeah, it's not looking too good to me right now, just because it seems like they're focusing too much on trying to create new content that they hope will be appealing in, you know, comparison, that it's not going to feel like it's just the same thing again. I'm going to put these here for now so I know where they're at for when I replant. But at the same time, it worries me that, you know, they're not also cleaning up stuff. I mean, yes, they should have an advantage, but it seems like they're not taking that advantage that they have and really utilizing the extra time they get from that advantage to truly focus on, like, hey, does this item that we've got, yes, as much as we might like it, does it actually give us, does it actually add value to the game? You know, after I did that gameplay and I did that video, like the booster tank, I went and looked at the update notes again. And I started looking at some of the comments on those update notes and people saying, seriously? A booster tank for speed? Do we not already have enough stuff to produce speed boost in the game? And it's really that, you know, is one thing. Did we really need another element in the game to increase our speed, our movement, beyond what we already have? And second is, it's not really usable. I mean, think about it. If it's meant for emergency use, then it should be something that is toggleable with the hotkey bar. I can't go here and say, you know what, I'm going to put this at number 5, and when I hit number 5, it's going to swap my tank out. You know, so if I have the second ultra high capacity tank, I can't assign it to 5 and say swap these around. But that would be sensible for an emergency standpoint. You're almost out of O2. You want to swap things quickly. Having a hotkey do that works great. You're being attacked by something. You need to get away. What's going to work better? A booster tank that gives you some speed by sacrificing O2, or the Sea Glide that you can just hit a button, grab it, and go. That could be it too. It could be very well that they're like, here's, you know, what we hope we would like to use, and here's the game that we're giving you to play, and then in the end, it's like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. You know, that whole conspiracy theory that they knew the design was bad. That they went ahead and paid all this money to have the design done. They knew it was bad. So they're like, here's the design of Sonic. And when everybody complains, okay, we're going to redo the design and we're going to delay release so we can redo the design of the main character, the movie. We planned for this, but now that we've put this bad design out that everybody went crazy about how bad it was, when we release the real design, the one we had already intended to possibly use, they're not going to dislike it as much. They're going to be like, well, it could be worse. Yeah, lower expectations to increase happiness. I'm pretty sure they knew, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog, it was going to be a bad result, you know, bad response publicly from that design. So they're like, you know what? Put it out, because then when we do the next design, they won't tear it apart. They'll be just glad it's better than what we originally gave them. And same kind of thing here is what I'm expecting. I expect it to be pretty much the same thing. That, yes, this... Oh, why you looking at me? Don't you look at me like that. I'm cured. Leave me alone. He's worrying me. And I'm lagging. That might be what it is. He's mad I'm causing him to get stuck a lot. He's like, come on, man. You keep slowing me down. I'm trying to do my work. Trying to take care of infected creatures, and you just keep causing me to get stuck. Oh, they study me? He didn't look like he was studying me. He looked like he was trying to decide if he wanted to attack me. Okay, oh, no, that's just Sonic movie. It's so bad that we're just ignoring it ever existed. Is that it? I still hope that, because Jim Carrey has kind of backed out of doing as many movies as he used to, And, you know, at one point he did kind of start focusing more on not just comedy movies, trying to get more real movies, go away from just comedy. And then he came back and did Dumb and Dumber 2, which was lacking compared to the original. More so in the story was just bad. You know, the story and it was the same gags again. Hopefully, you know, he's not like, well, I just need a movie. And from what I've seen, I really have high hopes that he did a good job in his portrayal of Dr. Robotnik, other than the fact that, you know, most of it, he's not fat. But, you know, there's plenty of movies that really good actors have been in and then said how proud they were of the movie, and then at the end, people just hated the movie and thought it was terrible. Yeah, the Mario movie. At least John Leguizamo admits that that was a terrible movie. That he makes fun of the fact that he was in that movie like that's the low point of his career. Even more so than his movie The Pest. That was pretty bad too. That was not a good movie for him. He has definitely improved as an actor once he started doing more serious roles and not just focusing on trying to be like another Jim Carrey or another, what's another just straight comedy person that tried to transition. No, I do not have a base around the Sea Treaders. I have never found a major need to build around the Sea Treaders. Yeah, the fact that it's just like, forget mushrooms, forget anything like that. We're just going to focus on the Bowser aspect, that he looks like a dinosaur. And we're just going to go on this whole realism aspect. Like, the Mario Brothers movie was one of the early ones to try and put a realistic spin on things. Because, you know, a mushroom with a mouth. They're like, yeah, let's just go with something realistic, like the dinosaurs. Actually, this is an alternate dimension, and you have all that kind of crazy stuff, and Goombas and such as that, you know, kind of thing. Like, they just, yeah, that was a movie that didn't need too much realism focus on it, and they did that. They went overboard on trying to make it seem more of a tangible, realistic element to it, and they killed it. Yeah, Adam Sandler, that's the other one. He was Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, just that goofball style to him. Which, you know, Happy Gilmore was kind of transitioning out of that Billy Madison style. You know, the goofy, crazy guy, Saturday Night Live. And then going to Click. And, was it, another one that people hated with him. The remake of the football movie, The Longest Yard. I mean, there was some funny stuff in that, but from an Adam Sandler standpoint, that was not a good movie for him. And then what was it, Ridiculous Six was absolutely terrible in terms of that production group, like what they do. I mean, come on. Same group did Grandma's Boy. That was a hilarious movie, and Adam Sandler was nowhere in it. But Ridiculous Six, the best part about that was seeing, what was his name? Lautner? One from, the werewolf guy from Twilight. Seeing him in there as an idiot. That was the best one. That was the only redeeming part of that movie, was seeing him as a complete moron. Which he did a very good job portraying. I'll say that. It's like seeing him in that was, to me, a fitting role compared, I mean, based around what he did in Twilight. I see him about as good of a Batman as the other guy that they've cast for the next Batman. Yeah, we're at 2.5 hours, Spicy, and usually I go for 3 hours on this. I'm trying to gather as much titanium down here as I can. because I'm not going to be doing a huge amount of building down here like I did in the past. And hopefully I can get enough to get almost to the end of the tunnel. Maybe get to the very end of the tunnel. So, oh, ow! Hey, wait, I haven't scanned you before. You're gonna bite me. At least I'm gonna get a you know, a scan of you. I wish we had more adjustability in terms of how we build. Like, it's nice you can build, you know, freeform off to a certain point. Like, if I go way over here, and I say, you know what, I want to build this, I have free movement on that there. But once you snap that first one down, and you define a starting point for your base, everything from there snaps to a certain directional option. I wish we could do like the curves. It really doesn't give you a different angle. It's the same 90-degree change. If we could do a half curve, that would give you that 45-degree change. That would be perfect, because a half curve would basically go, instead of targeting like this, it would turn it like this. It would be perfect to allow me to adjust direction of this stuff. All right, Spicy Leviathan, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, don't run out of your phone data. I think I'm not going to watch the Detective Pikachu movie, Goku, just because I really have no interest in something like that. A live-action Pokemon, great, but they should have stuck to more of the original story style to it. I think that's what people would have gone for. But at the same time, you probably would have ended up with the same result as a live-action Dragon Ball movie, where they're like, we're going to stick to somewhat the storyline, but then we're also going to kind of run it into the ground. Michael, if you're talking about just doing YouTube in general, no, it doesn't feel like a job yet. It's definitely something that feels like a part-time job, because how much time I spend on it, but it's not a job like it's not fun. I stick with games I find fun. If you're talking about building on this part of it right now, it's definitely tedious, mainly because of the amount of materials needed, and more so the fact that I am having to go and do so much to build, and then the delay with it. And you know what? Omaha, you're right. The multi-purpose room, I haven't been using that, because in this case, I don't want to use multi-purpose rooms just everywhere, because I want to have it like serve a purpose rather than just being a junction. But we'll use it in this case to realign things, because I don't want a weird curviness to this and then get out to the end of the tunnel here, where I want to have it more evened with the tunnel like itself in the direction it's going. So we'll throw a multi-purpose room here, and wow, look at that. It's actually lagging just looking at the multi-purpose room again. Like, you can see stutter to it when I put that to the multi-purpose room. Not when I'm looking at normal, but when I have the habitat builder around it, it's stuttering already. So yeah, I'm at that point where it's just getting bad again in terms of building. And again, yeah, it's got 8 sides, but the hatch will work on any of the sides, but the eye compartment does not want to connect on certain sides. It'll connect there, it won't connect here. So yeah, that's multi-purpose room. It's good for certain things, but not so much in trying to adjust an angle. Warframe, I used to play religiously, you could say. I played you know, 2 or 3 hours a night, and weekends I'd be up till 3 in the morning running at that point. And I just, when I started doing YouTube, I had to cut back on playing it because I had to put time in towards, of course, other games. But just the fact that it was, you know, I started getting more into the building games away from the first-person shooter ninja style gameplay. And now I've recently played again. I usually log in at least and get credit still, looking for a 50 to 70% coupon to come in on the daily reward and maybe give me a reason to buy some platinum and start playing a little bit more so, but I just cannot bring myself to want to play it like I used to. The new content, like the Corpus Ice World, just feels like a complete revamp. Like they just threw a different bit of paint on what was the Grenier open world one. So I just don't, I just cannot get back into Warframe right now. I'm not going to acknowledge the Emperor children as my own. They're not mine. I did not produce those. They have no genetics from me in there. You will not get me to accept them. And what are you doing in here, buddy? Come on, let me put you, look at him, he's steaming, he's mad. He's like, I'm stuck! I'm burning up in here. Get me out of here. Aha! No, you're not escaping me. Oh, great, now I got a floating dead larva in here.
Engine
I
powering
wonder if he's going to
up.
actually, like, if I move forward, is his body going to be shifted to the back of the vessel? What games are fun? Well, I mean, I still find Subnautica,
Powering down.
at least with mods, to be funny. Yes, he did shift to the back. Having a lot of fun right now still with Plant Nomads. That's, I mean, it's not the most popular game. It is not even the best reviewed game because of changes made, you know, and the fact that they went early to full release. But I find the mechanics in it fun. Green Hell is fun right now. I'm waiting to see how things go with full release. And of course, having a blast with Superland. Despite some cases it feels less polished in terms of the way you're supposed to figure out some of the puzzles. Like, it's not that the puzzle's difficult, it's like it just, there's some things that either do not get shown to you and you're just supposed to, like, kind of guess at. And I've seen a lot of people review it the same way, saying, yeah, it's a great game, it's really good in terms of puzzle games and stuff like that, kind of like Portal, Metroid that it referenced for the inspirations, but there's some parts that just doesn't feel like it flows as well as in other parts in terms of the design. And then, like I said earlier in the stream, for those of you who have joined in later, community post on the community tab. Make sure you go in there, cast your suggestions out for a new game to add as a secondary stream each week. I've already pretty much decided what time I'm going to be doing it, day and time, what's best on my current schedule for that. But I do need to know what game people would like to see. I've suggested, of course, No Man's Sky. They did just do another big update, and according to them, it's like 2.0, like a complete overhaul. I have not played since the update downloaded, but that is one option. And another option is, of course, the Forest. I've played it before. I did a lot of big building in it, and I haven't played it in a while because I burned out on it. Just because there are some aspects of the building that do get very tedious and cumbersome. But it's not really that much different than in this, like gathering up a lot of stuff in order to try and make this work. Alright, we got 20 minutes left. I am not going to worry about building any further along this. I am just going to go ahead, get some more supplies if I can. I'm sure there's still titanium here. And we'll head back to the surface because I'll be doing a lot more Metal Salvage gathering between now and next stream. So I can have plenty more supplies. We might do some more reinforcement on the way back up as well. But I am going to go, I want to get some titanium to have in my inventory, because I'm going to go in at least try to build all the ladders coming down. Warframe is generally free, period. I don't think Warframe's ever charged at all to get the game. Like, it's a free-to-play game, but you get like 50 platinum to start with, and then you have to buy more platinum once you run out. Or get to a point in the game where you can gather stuff and trade in the market to get platinum. Pretty much, I got to the point where I stopped buying platinum because I was able to trade for it. But I haven't done enough playing of late to be able to do that. So I don't have anything really super valuable anymore that I'm aware of. So I would probably buy platinum again if I started playing. But yeah, Warframe is supposed to be still free, the last I heard. You just pay for the premium currency in order to get cosmetics, special things like that, and avoid having to buy or go and gather the supplies. Basically cut down the time you play. So I would say download it, yeah. If they are charging for it right now, download it and play it for a little bit while you can, and then if you don't like it, you know, just stop playing. Give it a try at least. I definitely would say 90% of the content is still really good. It's just the new content. It just feels so much like a rehash. And I haven't tried the new Warframes, but from the abilities I looked at, they don't seem to be anything radically new compared to some of the other ones that have been out. I know I did play it again recently, try out the changes to Wukong, and had to do a major revamp on my Wukong. No, Goku, I will not accept the Sea Emperor children as my own. I have not signed any paperwork to adopt them, and I did not produce any DNA for them. They would look drastically different if they had human DNA in them. They were already spawned long before I got here. I just, you know, gave them that little vitamin pack to nudge them along. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Fallout 4, I did play until recently. I've got a whole series of video on that. The building in Fallout 4, honestly, I would have to, if I did it again, I'd have to do mods. Just flat out, because that's the rule with Bethesda. You know, put out a decent product and let the modders fix the hang-ups on it. I feel like there are some really good elements of the building in Fallout 4, like being able to just say, here, move this, without having to deconstruct everything all the time. That's great. I like being able to do that. But snapping of elements, there are certain other things, and it just general building components. I mean, again, the manipulation of certain building items and so forth. It made me wonder if some of the developers on that part of the game had ever actually played a game like this. You know, I would just have to play it with mods if I did it again. I'd be fine with coming back to it and doing it just for building purposes. Like, I had some really good stuff going in my game before. Building at the drive-in, I decided to use it as my main area, even though there wasn't a lot of ground area to produce tons of water there. I decided to use it as the good area because of height availability, large continuous flat area to build, and just general proximity to other stuff. And man, I got a lot of stuff going for it, but the most disappointing part for me was the way the storyline turned out. You know, that whole, oh, I'm the father, you know, at the Institute. And, alright, spoiler alert, if you haven't played Fallout 4 storyline, and you don't want to know how the story ends, you know, mute for about 30 seconds. I'll give you a second to do that. But yeah, the storyline is what ruined it for me. I liked Fallout 3 storyline. I never did get around to playing New Vegas. But, you know, going there and that whole twist of, well, I am your son. You know, I'm old, but I am your son. And that whole play on how you've perceived how much time has passed sort of thing. That's so stupid. I'm sorry, that was just a, you know, they could not come up with something better kind of thing. They're like, well, that's the best we've got, so let's go with it, even though we know it sucks. You know, the story was a bad point in that game. But building-wise, I would say it was maybe 65-70% of where it needed to be. There's a lot of good elements, but there's a lot of stuff that just made me question if some of the devs working on that had ever played a building game like this. You know, go play a game like this enough and you'll know there's certain things that, like, hey, that just doesn't work very well for a game like this. You know, you need something like that, like this kind of feature to make it more enjoyable to build in. Yeah, if I played Fallout again, it'd be mods. And I would not do it for storyline. I would get to a point where it's like, you know what? Now we're ignoring the story completely. We're just going to build until I get tired of building in the game, and that would be it. You know, I might need to check and see if I forgot to take stuff out, because yeah, that's still not working. How much time? I've been playing for 2 hours, 47 minutes right now. We usually go 3 hours, so we got about 13 minutes, 15 minutes left. We're going to start doing the final rundown now. I'm not going to do so much of the free cam thing that I normally would do at this point. I'm actually going to drive back up the tunnel so we can do some more work. And I think that's enough. I'll keep that titanium on my person because we've got to come back. We've got to come back through and do the, we've got to do the ladders and all these different drop-down sections I have not built into yet. So we're going to see how long it takes just from here to walk back up to once I finish this. But yeah, this is the zigzag. We're going to go up for more zigzag, and I want to see if maybe the Ghost Leviathan has decided to spawn back in or come back. He kind of disappeared on me. Yeah, Fallout, just, you know, they should have hired in some better devs and say, you know what, we're going to hire some devs specifically from a game like this. You know, even if it meant contracting out to devs with another studio that were already employed, be like, hey, we need some good building elements, because we know in the end people are going to extend their playtime of the game beyond story by building settlements. I mean, come on, that's what happened. People were clamoring for the ability to build your own settlements. I remember playing Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind years ago, and that whole thing, you do this quest, you get this settlement that's yours, then you do this quest, they upgrade it, then you do this quest, you upgrade it, kind of thing. And you've got this big area, but you can't go in there and say, you know what, I want to put this here, I want to put this here, I want to put this here, kind of thing. You know, people were asking for that. They want that freedom of choice. That's what's so big with games now, is that open world sandbox game. That's what a sandbox game is about, is giving players choice. The more, it's not so much like, you know, I'm going to go into a little more of a deeper discussion here, but it's not game modes. It's not about what the players can choose within the mechanics of the game normally. Think about it. Doom is a first-person shooter. Yet I could play one of the Doom games and say I'm not going to use any weapons other than this gun and the chainsaw. The entire game, that's all I'm going to play with. That's my choice. That doesn't make Doom a sandbox game. It doesn't make it an open world type game. What would make Doom more of a sandbox game if they said, you know what? We're going to give you an option here in the settings to turn off all monsters. And basically it then becomes an exploration and puzzle type game where you're trying to figure out how to open up this area or that area. You know, how to get this to work. That's a sandbox game. You know, giving the players options on how they can completely fundamentally change the gameplay, not leaving it to be something that they choose to play a certain way. You know, I'm choosing to build a big base. You know, that's my choice. They could have limited how many building options I had. You know, they kind of did in a certain way. To a certain extent, my building options are limited. But they could have made it much more limited. Say, you know what, we don't care about it being a building game. This is going to be a story of survival and trying to get off the planet. And you only need these building elements. And I could still choose to build a big base. It's giving more options for that base building and giving more options and customization that makes this a sandbox game. Yeah, Minecraft is popular because you have a lot of choice in that. You know, each update, they're giving you more choices, more things to use that ultimately gives you, the player, additional options for how you play, what you do. You know, Redstone gave so many different mechanics to the game. You know, the game I was playing, my save, I have a massive item sorting system using Redstone. I just dump everything into a single little box and it sorts from there. And that's all I do. And that's, you know, what you do in that game. You give choices. That's a sandbox game. Taking choices away and limiting to a certain set of stuff. Saying, you know what, we used to let you do this, now we're going to restrict you to this. That's not a sandbox game. And I hate when I see games do, or you know, devs go and say, here is a lot of stuff you can do, here's all these building things, but at the same time we're also going to give you a lack of certain things. We're going to restrict certain things. So no, you have all these building options, but then you have this restriction. You know, there's certain times that devs do that game studios do that, and they basically take a sandbox game and start restricting the size of the sandbox, you could say. It's the parent coming to the child in the sandbox and saying, hey, here's a new medieval knight set of toys for you to play with, but we're taking your dinosaur toys away. No, I will not do Minecraft again. I have done too much Minecraft. I might one day show what I've done, but that is such a time sink. I will not go back to that game anytime soon. See, I never played Roberti New Vegas. I only played Fallout 3. I never got around to playing New Vegas. And I heard, you know, modded New Vegas was amazing, you know, with that. I just never got around to playing it. At this point, I don't think I will. I've got other newer games to focus on playing. And I'll stick with that. You know, there's some games I'm actually holding on my wish list that are not even available yet, that are just like, oh yeah, to be announced when the release date will be, or sometime 2020, that I'm hoping are going to be amazing new survival and building type games. Oh, don't say you're waiting for the game to crash. Come on, I think I did have it crash once or twice before in the last build series, but not often. Usually it's just the lag when it's calculating calculating all the hull strength values together. And so I know Prime Sonic's not with us anymore, but he did ask at some point, once we get done with this, the time, how long it takes to go from surface to the end. I'm not going to time all the way to the end because I'm not finished building yet, but once we get this done and I'm at the very end, can't go any further, we'll do a time on this and see how much it takes for me to get up to, say, the habitat area at the very top of the base. Because, man, this is a long base. And at some point, I'm going to come in and do, like, windows here and there along the pathway so I can see where I am in the tunnel. I think I've got another drop down here. I don't think I'm finished. Yes, we've got another drop down. Is this the... Maybe this is the tunnel drop down point where the Ghost Leviathan is. I can't remember. Oh yeah, look at that. I think we're going into the lava zone now, finally. Look at the... Yeah, I believe this is the lava zone because you can see that glow. That's the tunnel drop down where the Ghost Leviathan usually is. So we're getting close to the end now of what I've built up to this point. And if somebody wants to tell... Oh, that's it. That's the end of it. So, here we go. Alright, I'm going to start timing from now. And I'm going to run the whole way, too. So that said, 2:56 and 30 seconds. We're going to see how long it takes to get back up all the way to the top. This is so much more of a, like, it brings home just how much I have built on this and how far I've built at this point by going through it this way rather than just running, you know, free cam command to fly through it. Yeah, the redstone, I think it was, oh, what was his name? There was two YouTubers I used to watch for Minecraft ideas. One was Daedalus82 or Daedalus282. He built massive stuff. I mean, like a watermelon farm that would produce 1 million slices of watermelon per hour. You know, just over the top stuff that he would do. You know, a 12 to 15 hour live stream where all he did was gather supplies. That was it. He would do nothing but live stream all day on a weekend and use that as a way to gather supplies. I think he was live streaming on Twitch for it. And then he would do his video. He would build it and showcase like time-lapse of video of the build sometimes, and other times he would just build it and show how the mechanics worked. He did some incredibly big builds, like stuff that would, you know, really lag up the computer. Even with a high-end computer, turning it down was still a difficult thing for his game or his PC to handle. And then, who was the other one? Monkey Farm. Monkey Farm didn't build over the top like that, but he had some really creative builds that he did. And I think it was Monkey Farm, maybe, that I saw him build a sorting system. And I looked at his and a couple of other designs and ended up picking one. I can't remember from where, but I picked one. And then as I started building it halfway through, I figured out my own way to optimize it further. And I retweaked it. And yeah, then it was just digging this big, long tunnel out. All right, there's one of my moon pool areas. All right, it was 2:56 and 30 seconds. We're coming up on 3 minutes for me to walk or run from the lowest point I've built to now all the way, and I'm still not even, I'm just now getting to my reinforcement area. It's surprising that my guy is not having to stop for to catch his breath. Okay, I'm finally getting in the upper part of the tunnel section build. So this should be bringing me now back to where I'm at my exterior grow point, my grow bed area. There's some of the lamps. Yeah, I'm surprised that we don't have like an elevator aspect in this of some sort. Okay, because just the ladders, it makes no sense to have a ladder that long in it. And let me see. Oh, wait. That other one, so we're going to have to deduct a few seconds. I'm going up on 4 minutes. Let's see. That's the way to the habitat area. Huh. So yeah, I'm in the habitat area now. We're going to have to say about 4 minutes straight running from the lowest build point all the way back up to the living apartments. And yeah, that save right there. All right, that save, so I'm not going to worry about, like, dying of thirst. So this is where I'm at now. And I went all the way this. Let me slow down. Through there, then down here, to here, down through here, down through here, down here, continuing down this way, yep, along the snake, down here, continuing this way. I would like to know how many connectors I have built, both the eye connector, the curve, and the vertical connectors for this. Yeah, look, alright, so that's how much I built just to get from there at the top of the drop down for the lava zone into the lava zone. You can't even see the end of it. Yeah. That's the base so far. That's the main catalyst for the whole design was building a tunnel from surface to lava zone, and now I have done that, and I can't even run anymore. I'm walking super slow because I am so hungry. I burned through my calories.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Let's see, how many can I put in? Perfect. There we go.
Welcome aboard.
So yeah, that is the massive amount of building I have done for this. I mean, yeah, save now that I got food. Yeah, that's I'm not looking for anybody's contact lens. I'm not looking for a grain of rust. I'm not looking for any of that. Yeah, forget that. We went from above surface or below like 1.5 kilometers down to above surface level. And oh yeah, I've got these. I'm gonna put some titanium in here just so I have it ready to go later. And then this for the we'll go in the Cyclops. So where did I park that Cyclops? How far down did I park it? Can't even see the thing for it. There it is. That's right, I parked it right down there. So yeah, once this is all done, you know, at least the structural part for this is going to be going in and placing lamps like this. I'm going to do a lot of lamps. And that might be something I just stockpile a lot of the resources for, the diamond and everything I'm going to need. So that I can, and maybe even go ahead and just make the, what is it, computer chips I need for that?
All systems online.
Yeah, make a lot of computer chips for it too. Just have everything pretty much ready to go. So I can keep the number values the same on the lighting and just go through the tunnel as much as possible and do a lot of cosmetics in terms of that, in terms of the lighting, and just keep going along the tunnel. Now, obviously, lava zone, we're not going to need as much light from that, so I'll reduce the range that they light up, but I definitely want to have more intensity because I want to be able to see it from distance, kind of like warning lights. And there'll be some spots where I might put it as like a yellow-orange type tint to it, so it has more of that alert light type of thing. Yeah. The Wi-Fi speed, I don't know. I didn't check my PDA yet. Power bill for that is entirely right now solar panels, which I can make some more now, actually. I do have a bunch of copper for it, so I could go ahead and try to finish the solar panel installation and some thermal plants, which what I want to do is instead of thermal plants around the active lava zone drop-off point where I'm going to end the build, that's going to be like the research station. The tunnel part leading up to that I ended building in today, I'm going to do a lot of thermal plants through there. And I don't know if I'll go the full 40 thermal plants I did before. I know I'm going to do quite a few because in the end, I'm going to have probably, just because I can, several of the ion cube generators running. I want to see how hard I could put a stress on the power production on there. Yeah, that's we got a lot of power going in that. Right now it's over 5,000. And yeah, we're going eco style. No bioreactor right now, no nuclear reactor. Actually, at this point, I don't think I would need a nuclear reactor in it, period. So we're going eco-friendly, solar and thermal plants. We've got plenty of food production topside. We're going to have some underwater plant production and everything going, you know, for research and everything else. But yeah, that's it. Plug in a toaster or toss it outside. I don't need a toaster. I have nothing I need to toast. I've already got a thermal blade. It cooks as I cut. You know, if I'm going to cut some bread, I just cut it with the thermal blade and it toasts it right then. It's perfect. It's like the lightsaber bread cutter from Family Guy. Hi, Gamer765. You're kind of catching it a little bit late. It's about to be the end of the stream for that, but you check it out next time, on next Saturday. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much go ahead and wrap it up for today's live stream. Thanks for hanging out with me, of course. We will get at least the remainder of the long tunnel connector part done next time. We will get the start of the drop down point done there, the final research station area finished, and I can start doing the thermal plants if I need to. But I'll gather some more titanium this week, more metal salvage, get that stock back up, maybe get some more of the solar panel farm finished up. And again, make sure you check out the community tab on the channel page for the my Siri just started recording like all of that I was saying. Yeah, check the community tab. I did have a new community post asking for suggestions on a new game in the style of this sort of thing, like Subnautica, where we do building and we can build somewhat big or somewhat elaborate designs, whether it's mechanically elaborate because of what it does or elaborate in terms of the size and cosmetic complexity. So something in that style. But yeah, let me know what you would like to see. No, world will not be corrupted, Goku. I back up nightly. And I have a versioned backup system, so I can restore back however far I need to, and it'll be backed up right after this. So if something happens, I can always revert back. It won't be a problem. I learned my lesson from early access Subnautica one time, and this happened to Markiplier too. I think it was around the same time it happened to me. There was a change, something happened. I tried to fix the stuttering of the world by refreshing my cache, and it corrupted the game save. I ended up having to restore from backup, which fortunately I did have a backup I had made previously, and that backup was like, I lost 8 hours of work. Markiplier had his world get corrupted. He lost everything. He ended up, I think he made a video where he spent like 20 hours of straight gameplay time trying to get back to where he was and recreating what he had done. So no, I back up nightly. I do not risk that anymore. But yeah, same time next week. I won't be starting a new stream this coming week, probably. It'll be the next week after that. I'll start the second stream once we pick a game. But yeah, again, go ahead and make your suggestions on the community tab. Once I narrowed it down to the 4 or 5 suggestions that appealed the most to me, I will put a voting option up. We'll have a little poll in the community tab. Everybody can vote, and we'll decide what the next game will be for my second stream during the week. Timmy, you want to say hi before we go? Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, you don't want to get up, D. He's sleepy. Sleepy dog. All right, Timmy, say goodbye to everybody right there. Right there. All right. This is Timmy. He's cranky. He's sleepy. Yeah, I will see you guys next time. I've got some work to do and some updating to do on my mods and everything. I'll look at those FCS mods. Like I said, it's just so far some of them I haven't seen. Ashton, that like really stood out to me as something that I would need use of in the game right now. But I'll take a look, see if there's anything new that's come out after this. And Timmy Victory Shout says hi. Say hi. Yes, he had his birthday this week, so he's been extra spoiled this week, and now he gets cranky again. You ready to go? You want to go outside? Want to go outside? He wants to go outside, yeah. So thanks again for hanging out with me. I'm Mr. Spicy. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will see you guys next time.